Hi.
Dude, what the mate?
What was that, you ask? Well, let me tell you about my journey about building my own RC plane. It all started when I rewatched this video from Peter where he took a tiny drone and stuck it on a paper airplane. And I thought, maybe I can do that with a bigger drone and a chuck glider. So I got a drone and a chuck glider and combined the two.
Holy shit!
I tried multiple iterations, but none would work. The drone was always underpowered and barely controllable. I also tried a smaller glider, but that too barely flew and crappy if at all. It was lacking control surfaces, which Peters didn't have, but this one definitely needs. That showed me it didn't work with this drone. So I replaced the drone with real plane electronics. With those I could install some servos for rudder and elevon, and also there shouldn't be a lack of power now. But the question remains, will it fly? And the answer is no, except if I drive it off a ledge. And even then, I barely had control over it, and yeah. Also, it's pretty hard to fly and film something simultaneously. So I tried again, but no luck. The elevators were useless. It just looped and crashed.
Dude, what the mate? Mate.
This one's not gonna fly. So I got a different glider and turned it into this. It doesn't have a rudder servo yet, but bank and yanks are a thing, so it should work. This one also has a decent landing gear and not this. This one was so much easier to get to fly than the previous glider, but still hard to control. But it flew nevertheless. Next I slapped a camera on it to get some FPV shots. Here's that footage. The plane is very sensitive to inputs and it feels a little bit underpowered, but it flies. And it hit a tree. That was a good short flight, except the ending. Next I upgraded the battery from this to give it even more power. Here's full throttle with the old battery, the 2S. And here's the new battery, the 3S. Whoops, let's try that again, but a bit more careful, and with a tighter prop nut. It's definitely audible that it's more powerful now, but will it fly better? It was flying, but it was very difficult to control.
It is flying, I can't believe it, dude.
And then the wing snapped.
Doesn't. Oh.
The left wing held up nicely and didn't bend too much. But the right wing wasn't as sturdy, it bent more and more until it snapped. That was my best flight so far, but I wouldn't call it a real flight, because the wing snapped. So I fixed it and tried again. I haven't trimmed the controls on the transmitter down yet, which made it harder to keep the plane in the air. At least for me as a beginner pilot, and this being my first plane. Well, that was it for this glider. Time for the second one.
Yeesh.
Here it is. I kept the aileron smaller than before in hopes of it flying less twitchy. The landing gear is mounted better and it also has a rudder servo now. This one had some problems keeping straight for some reason. I have many more clips like these where it just wouldn't keep straight and thus couldn't take off. It's just trolling me at this point. Was frustrating at first, but it eventually took off. Well, not on that droid, but on this one. Another good takeoff, but
That's weird. It takes off, but it doesn't fly. Whoa. Oh boy. Oh, that was it for today, folks. Please be still recording. Yes.
I fixed the wing and added a spoon as a skid plate to raise the tail wing off the ground. And I added these yellow plates to the landing gear for sturdiness. Here we go.
Oh. Wait, you... What? That is impossible. You didn't break. How? Okay, I got a branch there. How did you not break? And I forgot to press record on the other camera. Jeez.
And that sucks. I really wanted to have that footage. After that crash, for some reason the plane had problems taking off. Instead, this happened.
Holy. That didn't look healthy. Of course you break the fuselage.
So I fixed it, and here we go again. Or not.
Oh. Oh, that's also disconnected, but nothing broke yet.
Since nothing broke yet, I tried once more, but the plane
Doesn't climb. It just doesn't want to climb, bro. A lot of sand in there, but nothing broke. Besides that. Dude. Really?
Let's try again.
Bro.
Time to fix it yet again. This setup was too wonky to fly stable, and I've had an idea for a while that I'd like to try. I took the servos from the wings and put them in the tail. Let's try it. That doesn't count, right? Using just the tail for steering was a great idea. I had better control, but it still needed optimization. I lost control right here, and I couldn't pull up.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, that proves the concept. It works. It didn't break. It didn't. Okay, not yet. Yeah, okay. Other than that, it's all good. Where's the camera? Exactly. Camera. Still recording. Awesome.
I'll fix the tail and try it again. Oh, and that previous crash yeeted the display out of my camera. But hey, it still records. By the way, my goal is to take off, fly one round, and land, or at least attempt to land it. Here the plane rolled when I tried to steer, which hindered me from turning around. I really had a hard time to keep it from crashing.
Come back, please. Camera. Please. Awesome. Holy sh.
The crash pushed the landing gear back, which split the fuselage, but it was an easy fix. Anyway, I fixed it and went for another attempt. But this time the tail isn't moving, instead we got some ailerons. Meanwhile, someone built this nice runway. For some reason, the plane didn't want to fly that day. As soon as it takes off, it wants to turn around and crash.
What is wrong with you? This is the problem. See that?
At that moment, I thought that was the problem.
Alright. Fixed it. Let's try again.
It wasn't. And thus, it didn't help. It took me a few more tries until I spotted the actual problem.
What's wrong with you, buddy? Why don't you do the flying thing?
Did you hear that?
That's why it doesn't fly. Yep. 2 nuts are missing.
And the remaining 2 were loose. Not good.
Alrighty. Guess we go home.
So I went home, replaced the missing nuts, and tightened all of them down. I also glued the nose back together. Now let's hope it works. And it doesn't. There's still something wrong with it. At this point I was out of ideas and frustrated with the plane. I just wanted to throw it out and be done with it. And that's partially what I did. I just left out the away part. I just threw it, you know? Like a chuck lighter. And guess what? It worked. And after covering the nose in tape and throwing it a few more times, I saw what was wrong. Here I didn't give it enough thrust. Still not enough thrust. Almost right, but it's a bit much here. And this fly showed me exactly what I needed to know. Putting these nuts behind the motor mount wasn't a great idea, so I removed them. Also, the nuts holding the motor down vibrated loose again, so I glued them down after retightening. Now let's give it another go. This time I hand launched it off of the skirt pile to start with some altitude. That's a bad launch. Try again.
Well. New prop, new try.
Better, but not enough thrust.
Really, dude? New prop, new try, once more. Nope. Maybe I have to chuck it harder. Maybe. I don't know.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Okay. That works. But, oh. Just wondering, where is it? Damn. Gotta go down there. So it seems I just have to chuck it harder.
Took me a while to figure that one out.
Okay, there. Nope. Okay. The broken off part of the propeller just stopped right where it crashed, and then the plane just jumped over there. That is cool to see.
Then I had a great idea.
Let's try this for a change.
And that magically solved most of the plane's problems.
Oh boy, it works! I can pull up, I can pull down.
This is kind of what I hope to get from the plane. Flying controlled and stable.
And I can't turn around. Oh, I can turn around.
This was almost perfect. A good launch, I had good control, and the
Nice.
plane flew well.
Thing works. Wah. No. Dang.
The landing could have been better though.
Well, awesome.
Now that I got what I wanted to achieve with this plane, I'm done with this project. This was an, at times, frustrating but great project to work on, despite it taking way longer than I expected. And I think I broke enough props and gliders doing this. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.